What's up, guys? Welcome back to Triple Threat Analysis. I'm here with Glenn and David, and this is our Elimination Chamber preview episode. Boys, we're in the middle of the road to WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber is on Saturday. Where do you think the WWE stands right now as a whole? How are y'all feeling going into Elimination Chamber about the WWE and where we are creatively?
I mean, in terms of all the like storylines and stuff, I do like the direction they're heading because at this stage leading up to WrestleMania, we do still have a lot of like open ends that we still need to close up. Like, obviously, a lot of people want these solid long stories in the build up to WrestleMania, and I agree. I'm part of that crowd as well. But I do like that we are getting so close to WrestleMania at this point, and we still don't know pretty much any of the matches except for Roman and Punk, which could change, but I think we'll find out later that I don't think any of us are going to think that changes.
Right. What about you, Glenn? Where do you think we are right now?
Just mentioning about like storylines, the one difference between the WWE and like AEW and other places is the stories. Like people can say certain other companies have the better wrestling, but what WWE does is they have the entertainment and storyline part usually on lock. I feel like we've been kind of slacking on that the last like year and a half. Actually, since the end of the Philadelphia WrestleMania, the storylines have kind of tanked a little bit. I do feel like we're trying now to build stuff back up. Will it get built up to before by the time we get to WrestleMania? I don't know, but at least we do know if Finn Balor doesn't win that we have CM Punk and Roman Reigns as the main event. Which I don't think anyone, no matter how that match really goes, I don't think anyone's gonna complain about it. So at least we have the main event, and that's what every WrestleMania needs. So right now we can just fill out the rest of the brackets little by little. But I am happy we have that for now, depending on the Finn Balor part. But yeah, let's just hopefully WWE can close up, like David said, these storylines because I do feel like we do need to tighten them up and get them going because we got a month left before WrestleMania, so we gotta
Yeah.
get it cooking.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of been it's kind of stalled since the Rumble. Like we haven't really progressed many stories
Yeah.
outside of Liv basically and Finn and Punk. So it's kind of stalled and we're not really moving quickly towards any WrestleMania level storylines in my opinion. What do you think which stories feel the strongest to you? Like which ones do you resonate with right now?
Man, I mean, it's tough because I feel like every time they start like some of their best stories that they've been working on, like let's say with the Vision, for example, we had Seth get hurt and then we had Braun get hurt and now we're dealing with Bronson's injury, obviously, and we don't know how long he's going to be out for. It's like, so they're catching a lot of tough breaks in some of what are supposed to be their biggest storylines. And I mean, realistically, this probably isn't a thing for a lot of people, but like one of my favorite things going on in WWE right now is the El Grande Americano drama. Just being able to have that kind of humorous side, but also being able to watch two guys in the ring who can go with the best and can go in the ring with anybody and still put on good matches. And so, like, whether they're in the ring and wrestling well, or they're, almost like a humor type gimmick on the side because they're fighting over a mask that neither of them should be wearing. Like, it's so entertaining right now. Like, at least WWE is doing that well, and I think that'll end up leading up to a WrestleMania match of some sort as well.
Mm, for
I think
sure.
there's only one actual thing to be excited about, and that's just the whole like the fact that we're having two elimination chambers. I mean, it doesn't really matter who wins the elimination chambers. It's going to be crazy matches. Elimination Chamber is my third favorite pay per view or PLE, whatever they want to call it. Always has been. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. The way they're, you're timed one by one. The way someone's gonna jump off the cage. The way someone's gonna put their foot through the glass. The way someone's back is gonna be clawed up by the cage and stuff like that. It doesn't get any like much better than that. So that's what I'm excited about. To me, there's no like insane stories. The one story built up that I enjoy the most is already set for WrestleMania, which is gonna be Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vacour. I don't necessarily like the matches that like the matches that are set for the pay per view. Like AJ Lee, I'm sorry, I was so excited when she came back, but I am no longer excited for her. I just what she's like done in the ring personality wise is like kind of corny. And she was kind of always like that, but it was just backed up by insane in ring work. I don't think she really has too much of that. We haven't seen any of it really. So I'm not too excited about that. Punk vs. Finn, I'm kind of excited for, but it's like there is like me and Nick were talking about earlier on the other podcast, and we'll talk about it later, obviously, that there's only at most like a 50% chance Finn wins. So we're still going into it like CM Punk, Roman's gonna be the main event of WrestleMania. So what's really the story there? Yeah, so that's it. I'm just happy for the Elimination Chamber to see some brutally crazy beatdowns.
For sure. You touched on AJ and Becky. I have that as one of my like kind of lacking stories right now. Right? David and I talked last week on uh, the Raw recap about, at least I said, like last week's promo with AJ was probably her best promo. But other than that, she's felt really whiny and stuck in like 2015. Like we said, this her singles match coming up is really going to tell us a lot about if she's actually able to adapt to the current women's landscape. And I'm personally not too confident that she is going to be able to. But we'll see. We'll see how she hangs with Becky, and we'll talk about that some more in a little bit. Another thing I want to touch on that feels like kind of uncertain is, and we touched about it in the Raw recap or the SmackDown recap earlier. Jacob Fatu is kind of like in no man's land right now. Um, depending on the outcome of the Chamber, obviously he's not in it, but Cody is, and he's involved with Cody. But there's what is he doing after the chamber? Obviously, like it could lead to a triple threat, him getting put into a Mania match with whoever wins chamber and Drew, but like that kind of feels shoehorned in. So like, is he just going to get a title match on a random SmackDown on the way to WrestleMania? I don't know. Like, what do y'all think? Where do y'all think Fatu fits into potential WrestleMania plans?
I mean, without giving away too much before we talk about the men's chamber and predictions and stuff that way, like I brought it up when you and I did the Raw and SmackDown recap last week already, where just kind of what does this mean for Fatu? Where does it lead him? Like him not being in the chamber at all is really strange. I said it from the start. Him and Cody being in the same qualifying match was strange. Like I know they've got a lot of beef, but just not being able to have both of them continue that beef within the chamber was a strange decision, at least to me. But yeah, it is weird. Like they brought him back from his injury and whatnot and put him right into the main event scene, and now he doesn't really fit into the main event scene, but he's in too deep to fit anywhere else in this short lead up now to WrestleMania. So I do think that he does get his WrestleMania match. Um, and I but we'll talk about that a little more later on.
The crazy thing about Fatu is in the middle of last year, he was on a path to stardom. He was on, everyone loved him. He had a mean, he had everything going. And then we got to SummerSlam, and then we saw Solo versus Fatu in the cage. And it was a lackluster match. Then after the match was the best part where he was like jumping off the back of it or whatever. And then after that, we didn't see him for a while. Now he's back, and we're like, what's going on? What is he doing? So again, this is one of those things WWE does where we're like, how can we fit him in now? Like, are you just gonna, like Nick said, do we just throw him in, give him a title shot immediately, this and that? I don't know. I just know that before everything happened, we wouldn't even be questioning this. This would be like Fatu is going to fight for the title at WrestleMania. No one bats an eye. But now we're like, maybe he shouldn't be there right now. So the way WWE can change on a dime, Fatu is the perfect example of that.
Sure. It'll be interesting to see how they fit him in because I feel like he has to be involved in WrestleMania somehow. But how that happens isn't really clear right now.
Yeah.
So he's not really on top of the WWE landscape right now. But who do y'all think are like the top tier stars right now outside of like the ones that you normally would think about?
I mean, they're definitely continuing to build Alba to be that next guy. You know what I mean? Whether it be just the vignettes in the back or whether it be the, appearances he's been making talking with Aldis and Pierce and Rusev now in the back and, his stuff with Kit and whatnot. Like they are trying to do everything they can to remind us like, hey, this guy is around. He's going to sign. He's going to be on your screens regularly. He's going to be a star in this company. Like that it's clearly a push, and like I don't think anybody's shocked by that answer. That's not anything that's going to surprise anybody. But pushing Oba and making sure that people know, like, hey, he's not in the ring every week, but like this guy is a force, and this guy is going to be on your TV every week, very, very soon.
If I'm making a top five list, like let's say I'm making a power rankings and I'm naming the top five ranking for wrestlers right now leading the company, you still have to say Cody Rhodes is number one. Maybe if you want to put Punk one, Cody two, you can interchange that one and two. Three and four are Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They constantly get the biggest pop. They constantly get, no matter what happens in the match when Rhea and Io are in the ring, the crowd is cheering. It doesn't matter if it's bad, good. It's usually not bad, but no matter what happens, they're constantly getting the biggest pop. I could argue that they're one and two, but and then number five, we'll say Roman Reigns until he wins that belt. You could say Evans is creeping up now too. Trick Williams is going to be a name on the list. Oba, there's a couple guys, but still, the head of the company is Mr. Suit, Cody Rhodes, and then Punk. and then the women will follow right after.
Yeah, I had a couple that I just wanted to like. I don't think they're at the top, but they're well. Actually, so Liv is one of them. I think she
For sure.
is, obviously, won the Rumble, next in line for the title. I think she is probably at the top of the women's division right now. And then you mentioned Javon. I want talk about him. He's on the come up. He's showing off every week. I also want to talk about Mello. Melo's been great as U.S. champion, and he's really carving out his role and finally getting over with the fans.
Wait, hold on 1 second. David, did you hear what he just said about
No,
Mello? Oh, okay, we're happy you're sold on him now. We were trying to tell him. He finally gets to see what Melo's all about now.
Hey, it. I come around when I need to.
She said.
Um, and Dave, you mentioned Oba, and obviously Oba is going to be the future of the company, but I think Dewey's on the verge of fumbling his momentum with how long it's taking to get him on a show and in an actual meaningful match. I think they're on the verge of fumbling him going into WrestleMania, honestly. Now, if he does it, feuding with Rusev and maybe potentially a WrestleMania match with Rusev, that could definitely, like, it's not so far gone that he's like, it is fumbled, but I think it's on the verge of not being a great debut for Oba.
I mean, I think it's still so early on with Oba. Like, the fans are going to be upset, and the fans might be clamoring for it. But like, I don't think in WWE's eyes that they're worried about this year's WrestleMania for Oba Femi.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're already booking the rest of his year past WrestleMania. They're already booking
Right.
his
Yeah.
WrestleMania for next year. We know WWE likes to book way out in advance and stuff like that. But like, I don't think with him being so fresh and new still, like maybe he goes in, he has a squash like he's been doing the last couple weeks at WrestleMania, just as like okay, here's Oba on the biggest stage. I don't know
Yeah.
that he necessarily needs a full blown storyline by WrestleMania, but by the time WrestleMania is over with, like, I need him on a show that week.
I need a real match out of Oba before WrestleMania and not another squash. So like if he does end up fighting Rusev, I need it to be an actual match. And I don't think it will be,
You know,
but I need to see Oba like not just squash people. That's me
they're gonna have
personally.
Oba squash people for a long time. I think, like, even once he first joins the show, I think the squashing is gonna continue for at least a few weeks, where like he's not gonna be facing any of the top names until, I mean, I've said it a few times before. Like, I think his first major like victory within the main roster of WWE ends up being like King of the Ring time, and then that's when he's
No.
starting to get his title chance and stuff like that. But they want to make sure that he's acclimated and can hang on the main roster and can do all this stuff. And I think they're going to give him the time to build up and do that.
Yeah, I can
Even
see
in
that.
NXT though, his whole gimmick was this. This is what he did. He beat people within like a minute, and then the constant storyline was no one's ever gonna beat him. Like there's no one, and it wasn't believable either. No one that could fight him was believable enough to beat him, and that's kind of what they want to keep up in on the main roster. So, like David said, you want to see a real match, you're gonna have to wait. You might have to wait till, like I said, Brock Lesnar eventually will fight him.
Yeah.
Might have to wait for Braun Breaker to get back. I mean, who's get? By the way, just this is completely random. Where the hell did Apollo Cruz come from? Why is he like? What's happening?
Nick and I talked about it while you were gone on your vacation when we
Yeah.
were doing the Raw and SmackDown recaps. Every time he popped up, we're like, "What? When did he come back? Why did he come back?" Like,
Yeah,
that spot could have been given to so many other superstars that we're already seeing on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Hey, he's impressive in the ring, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's always great to see Apollo Cruz. Shout out Apollo. All right, all right. So we're gonna start off like with the actual Elimination Chamber PLE by talking about the non-chamber matches. I wanted to start with AJ and Becky for the Intercontinental title. So obviously this has been kind of taking place over the last few months since AJ came back, and her and Punk fought Seth and Becky, and AJ said that it's her title and she come forward, all that. And then obviously AJ helped Becky beat Maxine for the title. So it's been building up over the last few months, leading to AJ getting her first singles match in 10 years and her first championship match in 11 years. How are y'all feeling about this match? I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit ago, but how are y'all feeling about AJ? I want AJ specifically. How are y'all feeling about AJ coming into this match?
I mean, I do feel like, this is her opportunity to prove, like, hey, either she still got it or she doesn't. This is her first singles match since she's returned, so it's going to be on her and obviously on Becky to, prove to everybody that, hey, she still got it, she can do it, whatever. Or we're gonna see her fall flat on her face in front of her hometown crowd, basically. But I do think overall that like is the perfect time where if you do want AJ Lee to hold this title, this is the time you have to give it to her. Then you hope that from the 4 or 5 weeks that we have between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, that she can show up every week for those 4 or 5 weeks. She can have her match at WrestleMania, whether it be a rematch with Becky, whether it be a multi-woman match for the Intercontinental Championship, whatever the case may be, then you can take it right back off her and give it to a full-time competitor, even if it is just giving it back to Becky again, like they did with the Maxine situation. But I think if they're ever going to decide, hey, now's the time, we want AJ Lee to hold this title for a little while so we can put her name in the record books or whatever they want to do. I think now would be the perfect time for them to pull the trigger on something like that.
With this match, I don't know where either storyline goes. If Becky wins, cool. What happens now? If AJ wins, cool. What happens now? I don't know anything about the story after this. I don't know who could possibly face them, and if so, would it even be good? If the only possible thing to be excited for in this match is the hostility Chicago could be showing towards Becky and the insane reaction that AJ will get. Hopefully, it's Chicago. They usually don't let you down when it comes to Punk and AJ. So hopefully we get that craziness out of the crowd. That's about the only thing I'm excited for. Becky, we already know what Becky can do. We already know what she does in the ring. But at the same time, it's like we've seen Becky. We've seen everything we can't see. There's nothing left for Becky to achieve. She's done everything in this business. When she says, everybody says that I'm the greatest of all time, I don't think she's the greatest of all time, but it's hard not to put her in the top five after everything she's done. I don't think there's anything left for her to do. Winning at the Elimination Chamber doesn't really do anything, which she's already cemented. This could do wonders for AJ, but can she wrestle a full schedule, like you guys said? So there's a lot to prove here. I guess the exciting factor is the not knowing, because I'm 50-50. I don't know who's going to win this match. So that's good. The crowd could be great. That's good. As far as what happens after, I'm not excited for because I don't know what the hell's going to happen, but maybe that's a good thing because we always usually know everything's always quote unquote predictable. This isn't. So I guess I'm trying to look at the glass half full here. That's basically what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Talking about what happens after this match, I don't really see a world where it's not just them rematch at WrestleMania. I don't really see any possibility that it's going to be them fighting another person for the title at some point anywhere before WrestleMania. I think it's just they're going to be running it back.
I mean, obviously, we don't know how the injuries and stuff look, and I'm not sure if you guys chatted about it beforehand or not, but like Becky obviously has the history with Maxine and Natty. AJ has now involved herself with both Maxine and Natty. Are they exciting names? Not, of course not. You know what I mean? But can we get a little more excitement out of a fatal four way for the women's Intercontinental Championship instead of a rematch of AJ versus Becky again? Like, yeah, we probably could at least get a little more excitement out of that. So I think there would be a way where no matter who, let's say AJ does win this match, then it ends up turning into a fatal four way at WrestleMania and, Becky wins it back, Maxine wins it back, something along those lines instead.
Yeah. I definitely think AJ, honestly, I think Becky needs the win more, right? Because she's the champ and she's been here and she will be here. AJ's a part timer, just came back. In terms of like elevating the title, which the IC title definitely needs, and Becky has been doing pretty well, I think Becky has to retain. I think she needs the win more in order to elevate the title. I don't think AJ really does anything for the title itself, if that makes sense.
Well, so
I think,
I'll
yeah.
get like I said, I'll kind of disagree with you there that the title can't possibly get because like we don't have we don't have like maybe if like a Charlotte Flair would fight for it, maybe if Alexa Bliss would fight. There's no one really bigger than Becky right now besides Rhea and Io Sky and stuff like that can fight for that belt to elevate it. Becky can't do that fighting Maxine. It can't happen. So in my opinion, Becky's made it to the max point it is in Chicago in front of a ruckus crowd. You give the belt to AJ. AJ won't have to fight anyone until WrestleMania, basically, because there's nothing, So she can, for a month, train and be in the ring and build a story if she is fighting Becky again. That's how you probably can build it more. Is like you said, have them fight again, but this time it's maybe one of the first ever I Quit women's matches in the history of the WWE. Maybe it's like something, or like David said, maybe a fatal four way. Maybe that's one of the ways that you can make this very, very interesting is AJ wins. Somehow Becky is still involved, but there's other people that come in and you make that match something better than just a regular match. That to me is like the only way you can, elevate this whole story.
The thing I've learned tonight is that Glenn really wants an I Quit match at WrestleMania
I
because
want
he
something,
mentioned
bro.
it earlier.
We need something crazy.
I mean, they WWE has shown like they're only going to give the crazy stipulations like that, like Hell in a Cell, like the three stages of hell that we just seen return not that long ago. Like they're only going to give those feuds to, or they're only going to give those matches to feuds who truly show that like they can act like they hate each other, or they do hate each other. And Becky and AJ are at that point. It's just a matter of, is AJ going to be able to take that extra step and take those extra
Yeah,
bumps and take those extra beatings, because Becky's going to have to put in her beatings on AJ too if that is the case.
yeah, for sure. So if AJ does win, which I wouldn't be mad if AJ does win. If building a match to WrestleMania, which a rematch to them, I think we need AJ of last week, less corny, less cringy, more real, more raw, and then that could definitely turn into a great WrestleMania match. Who do y'all have winning? Who are your official predictions for this match? And how confident are you?
I am gonna go on the side of AJ Lee. I do agree with Glenn where like I'm basically 50-50 with this match. Like I truly don't know who is going to win. But I think I've kind of convinced myself with the whole point I made earlier, where if you want AJ Lee to hold this title, now is the time to do it, because you can have her run with it for a month. And like you said, like, yeah, she doesn't really do a ton for the title, but at the very worst, she adds namesake to it. A lot of people still look at AJ Lee the way Becky Lynch talks about herself, as one of the greatest of all time. And while AJ Lee is definitely not one of those people, at least to me, a lot of people do look at her that way. So just to be able to see Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee, like that will make more people interested to see, okay, Becky took it off of her. Now what is she going to do with it? Like maybe they weren't paying attention to it before, but maybe they, then after AJ Lee has it, maybe they pay attention to it afterwards. So I'm going to say AJ Lee wins. I don't think it's a long run. I think she probably loses at Mania, but I think she wins on Saturday.
I do. Hold on, one thing. I didn't think we would take 20 minutes to talk about a match we weren't too excited about, and AJ and freaking Becky. But I have a wrench here for WrestleMania. There's one name that we said was going to come back at the Royal Rumble, and she didn't. And she was with them in NXT, and she was great. And then she left because of these things. If we get Paige back somehow before WrestleMania, a triple threat with them three, that
Man,
elevates that damn title. So if we can get Paige
yeah,
back, if that was a true rumor, man, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
that
that would
that is a
definitely be
good
great.
one. That is a good one.
Who do you have winning, Glenn?
I got AJ winning. I think after WrestleMania, Becky's taking another break. She's wanted to take breaks for so long, but she knows that they needed her. I mean, again, she had the baby and she came back right away. She's just kind of, I can kind of see it in her eyes. She's tired. She's loving being on top. You saw her on Unreal nonstop. She was like not the star of it, but she was always on it. You saw her. She's always in the ring. She's writing books. She's doing this. She has the baby. Seth Rollins is out now, so it's like she can't even be with him. I just feel like it's time for her to take a little bit of a break for herself. She wrote about it in her book about mental breaks, stuff like that. She hasn't had one since the baby. It's time for her to get a break. She's done so much, and it's time for her to take a little break. So I feel like she loses the belt. It's time for someone else to take it over. Whether or not AJ has it after WrestleMania, that's to be determined when we do our WrestleMania podcast. But I do feel like Becky's gonna go on a little hiatus very soon.
Yeah, I can see that. Like y'all, I'm 50-50. Like I can see either of them winning. Right now, I'm leaning towards Becky, so I will make, Becky my official prediction for a win, but I
Oh,
wouldn't
Nick
be
wants to be
shocked.
different.
Listen, we can't all pick the same person again, although we were right.
We were right.
Um, uh, but I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if AJ won. I wouldn't be mad if AJ won. I love AJ. I haven't loved her since she came back as much, but, it's AJ Lee. Next up is CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, we know how this match came about. This is Finn's rematch after losing in Ireland, and then he's since then attacked Punk, and had a pretty good build up to this match for being in the short amount of time that they've done it in. Where y'all stand going into this match with Punk and Finn?
I mean, Glenn made the comment about, taking 20 minutes about a match we don't care about. We're definitely not going to do it for this match because, like, let's be real. They're not passing up on Punk versus Roman at WrestleMania. Like, Finn is great. Finn has grown on people so quick. Like, they've turned around. They've started caring about him again. Like, Finn being added to that match would be cool. You know what I mean? Now, I think all of us just want all these multi-people matches at WrestleMania instead. But there's no place for Finn in the scene right at this moment, right in this time. It's the wrong time of year for him to be inserted into something like this. CM Punk is winning this match. It's gonna be CM Punk and Roman at WrestleMania. They're already putting ads up for it in Las Vegas. Like they're not screwing this up. I don't think we really need to drag down this for very long, unless somebody has some crazy wrench in their process of thinking here. I think CM Punk's winning this match.
Well, Nikki, David might be hit for a loop here. So we basically do agree with you, David. But when we did the Raw versus SmackDown thing, for whatever reason, me and Nick were like, you know what? Something, we don't know what. Something in the back of our brain is like, Finn Balor could win this match, come to WrestleMania as the Demon, and have a triple threat or something like that. Now, we don't necessarily feel that it's going to happen. We're just saying that if it did happen, we wouldn't sit here like, damn, we just lost one of the greatest matches we'll ever have at WrestleMania. We would sit there like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
Like, but
definitely.
you got to give us Demon Finn Balor. Everyone has to go like that when the light and stuff. We have to have the old Finn Balor back for this to be something that we would even consider. But yeah, like Dave said, we won't take too long about this. We just discussed that as much as CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is locked in stone and they have to have that match because that's the only thing that's really going to sell tickets right now, we would not be 100% shocked based on the fact that everyone expects it that Finn does win this match somehow, some way.
And Finn beating Punk in Chicago for the title. I mean that could be a catalyst
That would be one
for
of the craziest moments
yeah,
ever.
for sure. Now, one thing I did think about earlier in the day, some surprise finish maybe. What if Finn wins because of a Roman interference?
Interesting,
What do
honestly.
we think about that?
Be very interesting.
I do I like it and I don't. I mean, I feel like if Roman's gonna get involved in something like that, like the refs just gotta see it and call the DQ and just like it's a match where it ends in a brawl. They can continue the story with Finn where he's just all pissed off because his chance got ruined again. His boys weren't there to stop Roman, whatever the case may be. And then maybe Finn's just still right next in line after WrestleMania to face either Punk or Roman, whoever wins then. And then at least he's a little more believable as to like, hey, we're not on the road to WrestleMania. Like they really could just say, hey, Roman had it for a month. Let's put it on Finn now.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, could we see like Roman basically as a transitional champ? Which seems, it's crazy to say
Yeah.
that, but I mean, Finn beat him once.
Yep. Yep.
Could we see a repeat of history? I don't know,
Last
but
thing, the last crazy line we heard from Roman Reigns to CM Punk in that promo: "I'm not choosing you because you're the biggest star. I'm not choosing you because you're on the biggest show. I'm choosing you because I hate you." If Roman interferes in this match and causes Punk to lose the belts, I can see the next night on Raw, Roman gets on the mic and says, "I told you. I hate you. I hate you so much that I didn't want you to have your actual main event at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Your last one in our triple threat was not a main event, so you still have a main event at a WrestleMania, and I'm not going to let you do it." That I could see. I could see. If I was
that's what I'm
writing, I
saying.
wouldn't. So yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. But
I'm
yeah, let's go
saying,
to the
like,
next one.
all right. Next up, we're going to get into the chamber matches. We're going to start with the women's. So the women's match is Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. Who do we think has the most momentum coming into the chamber out of the women?
I mean, it definitely feels like, to me at least, that it's between Tiffy and Raquel. Like, Raquel's definitely been in the middle of a storyline already involving a heavyweight title, involving the Royal Rumble winner, which is obviously her partner for now, but we'll see what happens there, you know what I mean? And then with Tiffy, like she returned from injury, she still had a really good showing in the Royal Rumble before getting eliminated at the end, and she's had a couple of good showings since the Rumble as well. So I think just her returning from the injury and having that motivation and having that momentum behind her, and then Raquel just already being involved in so many main event storylines. I think it's got to be one of those two when you're talking about momentum coming into the chamber.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think it's 100% Raquel Rodriguez because she's had this push for months now, and for her to get her spot the way she got it versus who she got it against, I think she's definitely number one on the momentum list. Crazily enough, which I'm sure Nick's gonna mention, number two is probably Kiana James because she just like looks really good now all of a sudden. So yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, we talked about it in the SmackDown recap. But Kiana James is like, I mentioned she's kind of overshadowing the U.S. champ.
Correct.
She has got the momentum coming into it. I mean, pinning Charlotte Flair to get into the Elimination Chamber.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a big deal. And I think she'll probably have her look pretty good in the chamber.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how long she'll last in the chamber. I have her as the first one eliminated,
She's first
but
one
I
out.
mean,
Yeah.
you never know. But I think Kiana James suddenly is like, I mean, she's in the elimination chamber with these five other women, like with Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss. Like, I mean, come on. Do we think they all have a realistic chance to win? Like, is it just Kiana that you don't think has a realistic chance, or is it?
No, have I have a little bit of a twist. I told Nick about this a little bit already. If the competitors inside the chamber that Nick has already listed that are inside the match remain the same six competitors inside the match, I think it's mostly a 50-50 still between Raquel and Tiffany Stratton, like I talked about a little bit earlier. But I would lower them a little bit to throw a little bit of percentage at Rhea Ripley. I know she's the tag team champion. I know that she's involved in the story with Io Sky, but who else are you going to have face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania that's a believable opponent? Now, the reason that I say with the competitors within the match is because we know Alexa Bliss is currently scheduled to be in the chamber match. And we've got a bunch of these storylines going on right now, but I would not be surprised if WWE threw one more right in that same hat. I think it could be this week, Friday on SmackDown. It could be to start the Chamber pay-per-view, whatever the case may be. I think we see Alexa taken out, injured in the back, something along those lines, and she gives her spot to her best friend, Charlotte Flair. And if Charlotte Flair's in this match and, we see Alexa out for a while, like Glenn said, the same thing with Becky. It feels like Alexa's coming up on that time now where she might need to take some time off. Going into WrestleMania would suck to not have Alexa Bliss, but if she needs time at home, if she needs time with her kids, whatever the case may be, like Charlotte could step into that match. Is anybody going to be happy to see Charlotte in another title match at WrestleMania? Maybe not. But she's one of the only people that could truly be believable versus Jade. Now, obviously, so could Raquel, but I don't. Raquel facing Jade just doesn't make sense. She's already so interlooped with Liv and Stephanie. Then how do you have her choose Jade and just abandon that altogether?
Yeah, I kind of feel like Raquel is in kind of like a, it's not the best comparison, but kind of like an LA Knight kind of situation right now. Like she has momentum and the crowd's really getting behind her more than they ever have been. And are they gonna LA Knight her and just not capitalize on that momentum? I mean, like I think Raquel, she obviously gains the most from winning, right? In terms of her career right now. I mean, all the others are former champions outside of Kiana. So they've been there, done that. Um, Kel definitely gains the most, but who? I mean, does she switch brands if she wins? To go after Jade? Does she maybe pick Stephanie? Make that a triple threat with her tag team partner and Liv? Like I think Raquel should win, but I just don't see a path to how she goes into WrestleMania.
And even like you said with the choosing thing, we've talked about that a few times in the past, but they made it very clear, especially after she won that match on Monday night. The winner of the Women's Chamber will now be facing Jade Cargill at WrestleMania because Liv has
Yeah,
chosen Stephanie. Like Michael Cole repeated it quite a few times, so they would definitely have to throw a twist in there, a wrench in there in some way to be like, well, Raquel's not. She won't go after Jade. She won't choose to like. She wants Stephanie. She wants the women's world heavyweight championship. Now, if she were to do something, if she wins and she does something like that, I think it's just an absolute slap in the face to both Jade and the women's WWE Championship because now you had both the Rumble winner and the Chamber winner pick the other title instead. So, like, what does that make
yeah,
that title look like? It makes it look very undesirable. So it is tough to have it go that way. I guess it's understandable to be undesirable when you have to go up against somebody like Jade Cargill, anyways. But they have a lot of options for this chamber still, and that's why I think it is so interesting.
yeah. I mean, in terms of brands, I mean, you got three Raw superstars and three SmackDown superstars, but the SmackDown superstars outside of Tiffy aren't really ones that could beat Jade, and we don't really want to see them fight Jade. The ones we would want to see fight Jade are the Raw, with Rhea and Raquel and Asuka, I guess. But
Two quick things before we go on to who we pick to win or whatever. Number one, I feel like I'm in the elimination chamber right now. If you guys see me sweating bullets, it's because it's 80 damn degrees in here. I am sick as a dog. I have 102 temperature. I ain't sweating because I'm fat and in the basement. Okay,
And we're
understand that.
still here
Number two,
recording for you.
yeah, this is what I do for our one viewer. Number two, I have the craziest twist, not in the history of WWE, but in a long time. And I will. So I'm not gonna say anything right now. You guys go, and then I'll go last for who we got to win.
Before we get to our wins, let's talk about like the actual like structure of the match. Who do you think starts the match?
I have Kiana and Asuka as my starters. I think that's where you mentioned it a little bit already. I think that's where they allow Kiana to really put her showing on is very early on, right away at the start. I don't think there's any like super quick eliminations in this match or anything like that. Like I don't think somebody comes out third and just eliminates Kiana James immediately. Like I think that we get four, five, six people in the ring first. But I think Kiana James starts in that early part of the match where she's going to be able to continue to stand out and like outperform some of these other big names that she's been in the ring with.
What about you, Glenn? Who do
Yeah,
you think's gonna start?
I also have Kiana James starting, but I have her with Raquel to start. And the reason for that being is again, two girls with a lot of momentum. None of them are gonna get eliminated right away. They're just gonna put on a great like showing right away. And then you could bring someone like Asuka in who's no matter what she does, she's amazing in the ring and can just hang with anybody. So then you do that, then then you got like Tiffy probably. Rhea will probably be last, I feel like. So yeah, I got Kiana and Raquel starting.
Yeah, I actually have Kiana and Tiffy starting. I think they'll have Tiffy be like the Iron Woman of the match. I think she'll make it to the final two and then get eliminated, just so that way like she still looks strong even if she's not going to win. So I think Tiffy and Kiana are going to start, but I can definitely see it being Raquel as well. I have Raquel coming in last, so that she can come in and kind of come in and wreck everybody
Yeah,
and
clean up.
also look really strong, yeah, and clean up. Glenn says he thinks Rhea's going to come in last. Who do you think's going to come in last, David?
I have Raquel listed as the last person for mine as well. Like I think, they're treating her even kind of bigger and stronger than what they've treated Rhea for a while now. And like so I think she is gonna be treated as that just like come in, clean up, like let's knock out a couple of eliminations here. Like if our first elimination is Kiana James, like that's when we see it. Is Raquel coming out of the chamber, Tejana bomb to Kiana James first, 1, 2, 3. Hey, there's our first elimination. A Tejana bomb to Asuka, 1, 2, 3. There's our second elimination. Like that's when we can see the ring start to clear up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think it's going to be Rhea and Raquel, the last two. And then going into who we think's going to win, I have Raquel winning. Just because I think she makes the most sense to win. I don't know about the storyline after that, but I think she makes the most sense in this match to win. Who's y'all's winner pick?
So obviously I threw in the little twist a little bit earlier. I do have written down if Charlotte ends up in Alexa's spot in some way, shape, or form, I do have Charlotte winning the match. If she does not end up in Alexa's spot in some way, shape, or form, I am right there with you, Nick. I'm gonna go with Raquel.
So I guess it's not the greatest twist of all time because my story is the same as David's, except I have Charlotte Flair coming in masked. Like the whole men's thing, they had someone masked come in. I think Alexa Bliss like comes in like second or third into the chamber, and Charlotte comes out masked on and just beats the hell out of Alexa, and then she pulls the mask off and takes the spot and then wins. And then Charlotte will face Jade. And the way that you get Jade at WrestleMania to finally be over is beating someone like a Charlotte Flair. So I will eventually have Jade beating Charlotte at WrestleMania. And then Bianca, I feel, is a lot closer to coming back than everyone is saying. Then she can have the storyline with Bianca after that. But yeah, I have Charlotte coming in masked, taking Alexa Bliss's spot in the Elimination Chamber and winning. The one thing I don't agree with what David said though is that Alexa could use a little time off because like she was gone for so long before she just got back like last year. You know what I mean? And like she's mostly just been in a tag team with Charlotte, so she really hasn't done anything. And now we have her getting her butt beat before she even enters the chamber. Finally, her one match where she can show something. So it's like I want her maybe a triple threat. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we have something crazy with Alexa because I feel like she's too good to not use properly. Everyone forgets how good that girl was when she first came up. She had the belt like 4 different times or whatever, with 2 different times, and it's like she's too good not to use properly. But I feel like obviously she can't win it because Alexa versus Jade at the is not
Yeah.
believable. You know what I'm saying? Especially with how
Yeah.
they try to
No.
push Jade.
Yeah.
So it's either got to be Raquel, a Charlotte Flair, or a Rhea. No one else is really believable. Even Tiffy, it's like we've seen it already. I don't want
You
to
don't
see it
want to see
again.
that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm the only one that picked somebody that's actually in the match. Really bodes well for me.
It's
Going
gonna be
back and talking
Kiana
about
James. Don't get
Charlotte
it. It's gonna be
and
Kiana James.
going back talk about Charlotte not being in the match officially. Me and Glenn talked about this on the recap earlier, but I I thought it was wild that both Charlotte and Nia weren't in the match, either one of them, and that they were in the same qualifying match. My kind of thought was that they're saving Charlotte and Alexa and Nia and Lash and Rhea and Rio for a tag team title match at WrestleMania. That's kind of my thoughts. Even if Charlotte does end up in the match, which I don't think she will. I think they're kind of saving that to build those titles up and have a multi-team tag match at Mania for the title. Maybe some sort of a ladder match or something like that for those
Yeah.
titles.
And if that
I mean, and
happens,
that's
do you know
definitely where
what
we see
tag
the
team?
Bellas come in.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's what I was just gonna say.
Because I mean, me and David talked a little bit last week about where the Bellas come in because we haven't seen them since the Raw after the Rumble, and so that definitely could lead to that. And I think that's where I would want them to go with, especially if they're not going to put Charlotte and or Nia in this match, like they have to have something else planned for them coming up. And I think they're embroiled in all that tag team stuff. All right. So that's who we think's going to win. Who do y'all have as a dark horse? Like, who do you think, has a long shot to win, but could win?
I mean, it's really not a dark horse, but it's like the only girl that makes sense that we haven't listed as basically the three possible winners already. I have Tiffy listed just because like I just think she's the only other one. I don't think Kiana or Oscar really do have a true chance of winning. So I have her as my other option just because she's the only other one that like if she does win, like I don't think anybody is gonna be fully surprised. They're just gonna be like, oh man, okay, here we go again.
Yeah. What about you, Glenn?
I've got Asuka because there's no one else has really a chance. Like, and I don't
Yeah.
think she's really gonna win either. But it's like you can make Asuka win and it'd be fine because she can wrestle anybody. She's just done it her whole
Hmm.
life, her whole career, and it would be so funny to watch someone that we've heard say such few words like Jade and someone who really doesn't speak English and Asuka promoing for WrestleMania. It would just be so funny, and I'd be so down for that. So that's my dark horse.
Yeah. Oscar's actually my dark horse as well. Because of the smaller girls, like she's really the one that you feel like could possibly beat Jade and would go well in the ring with Jade. So Oscar's my dark horse as well. Who benefits the most in the match, even if they don't win? Which of the losers benefits the most from the match?
I mean, I really think in a match like this where you have so many big names, like you said, so many people that have already won titles, so many people that have already, like, I do think Kiana James is the only one that can truly benefit from losing anyways, because it's just a situation where she can go in the ring with all these main event women, with all these previous world champions and stuff like that, and she can once again prove, just like she did in her stellar performance in the Rumble, just like she's been doing a lot more often recently, she can prove that she can go in the ring with the best of the best. And if she can continue to do that, then it's not going to be a surprise when she turns on Julia and wins the women's US title, or when she's
Hmm.
continuing to be put into matches like this because, yeah, she's not going to win, but she's going to put on the best damn show out of anybody in the ring.
Yeah, there's no everyone's career is fully, besides Raquel or whatever. Everyone's already there. Kiana James is the only person that can put up a really good match and lose, and you'll be like, it's great for her because now she can have stories
Hmm.
where it's believable for her to win the title from Julia, and we're like, all right, yeah, she's earned it. So she's the only one.
Yeah, I put Oscar not because like she needs it for her career, but where she is right now. If she has like a really good showing in the elimination chamber, which I mean we know she will probably,
Hmm.
if it can like propel her into being back in the main event scene for the women's world, the women's world title on Raw, and get her in the same, get her up there with Liv and Stephanie right now. Like I think like she could definitely benefit like that because it's been a while since we've had Oscar up there, and I think she could benefit a lot from having a great showing, and if they choose to, push her that way, because I would like to see Asuka back up in that area with, going for the title.
I don't hate it. Don't hate it.
Any more thoughts about the women's chamber?
No,
No,
sir.
All right, on to the men's chamber. All right, the men's chamber: Randy Orton, L.A. Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jay Uso.
what a lineup!
Same, yeah. Same kind of question. Who has the momentum coming into the match? The most momentum coming into the match. They're kind of the men's match is really it's loaded and it's an interesting lineup for sure.
I
So
mean,
who has the momentum coming in?
when you talk about momentum, like I feel like it's obviously Cody. Like, I mean, Javon and Trick, like those guys definitely have some momentum behind them as well. But like, if you're gonna talk about momentum, like it's definitely Cody Rhodes. I don't think Jay has basically any momentum behind him. I think Randy, while may have a pretty good chance to win, doesn't have a ton of momentum behind him right now, especially at least after this last week's SmackDown. And even LA Knight, like he qualified and then he was gone from this past Raw again, and just kind of, well, came out for a little while, but just didn't really progress anything towards the chamber itself. So I think, if we're going to talk about momentum coming into this match, it's kind of Cody Rhodes, a little bit of Javon, a little bit of Trick, but it's Cody.
Honestly, all of them except Randy have momentum in one way or another. LA Knight, we're seeing signs all over the arena. Push LA. Let LA win. You've got Jey Uso. Every time we say this guy shouldn't be somewhere, where is he? In the main event, in the spotlight. It's where it's on ESPN again, so the crowd's gonna be yeeting all over the damn place. He might run it back in the damn chamber. And then you got Javon Evans,
He
who's
will.
just momentum personified. And then you got Trick Williams. Whoop that trick. They're gonna go crazy for him. Every single person in this match has momentum. Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes. He's gonna have momentum even if he's dead. Everybody has momentum except the guy that I would hope to win in Randy Orton. And it's kind of crazy that Randy Orton's like the freaking, the bottom tier right now in terms of momentum. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I think everyone has some sort of momentum, and that's what's making me so excited for this chamber match.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna the makeup of the match of who's in it is, like I said, it's really interesting. You have veterans, and then you have guys like Javon Evans and Trick Williams who are just in it, who have just gotten called up and are making an impact weekly on their shows. So it's going to be a really entertaining match. It's going to be a great match, with great spots, with everybody involved. We don't need to talk anymore about Jey Uso because he's not even supposed to be here and he shouldn't be here. No yeet.
Agreed.
Who do we think should start the match?
I have an old rivalry being renewed that we can't actually see on the main roster currently because they're on different shows. But I have the Young Guns starting out the men's elimination chamber match. I have Javon and Trick Williams.
I've got Jey Uso and Randy Orton. Why? Well, because you can't yeet outside the damn inside the pod. You gotta do it like he has to either be the last one in so that they can do their stupid thing. So yeah, I'm gonna say that it's Jey
Hey,
Uso and Randy Orton.
he yeeted on top of the War Games cage. He can yeet anywhere, okay?
They're gonna keep
You
him locked up in that pod as long as they can, so he can yeet as long as he can.
exactly. He's going to be in that pod, not paying attention to anything going behind him. Just
Nope, just
yeet.
Well, you want to know what the truth is? On a podcast, he said he was claustrophobic, so I don't think they can put him in there. But I don't know. He did say like he was with Jimmy, and he said the one thing I hate is being in small spaces. He's like, if I was ever in the elimination chamber again, I cannot be in that pod. I get scared. I'm sitting there. I saw Kevin Owens across from me last time, and I went crazy. So I don't know if they can put him back in. That's the real reason I think he starts.
Put him in the pod. Leave him there. He's the
He
last
can't.
one.
He's gonna be yeeting. He's gonna be yeeting while he can't breathe.
he can't get out.
I have LA Knight and Trick starting the match. Trick, kind of the same thing. I think they're going to have a really good showing for him. I think he's going to I don't think he'll be like to the final two, but he'll be in the final three, I think. And then LA Knight's just gonna get he's gonna get LA Knighted again. I wouldn't be shocked if Knight is the first one eliminated. But going on to that, who do y'all think should enter last, and who do you think is gonna be eliminated first?
See, so I actually went to the opposite. I know Glenn had mentioned Randy coming in and starting the match early. I have Randy being the last one to enter. I just think with him being clearly the oldest guy in the ring, probably needing the most time to just and the least amount of time in the ring of any of these guys. Like I think they save him to come in last. Maybe Cody second last or something like that. But I do think Randy is that guy that comes in last. And the first eliminated, you said it yourself, it's the guy that doesn't belong. I think the first eliminated is Jey Uso. They'll get, he'll enter maybe third because I don't have him starting, so maybe he comes in like third or something. He can do a couple super kicks. He can run it back inside the chamber. And then, by the time we start getting the Randys or the Codys coming out, then he's going to find his way out of the match.
Yeah.
First person I have eliminated, I hate to say this, but I think it's going to be Javon Evans. And I think he gets eliminated because he's going to go on top of the cage while Randy Orton's in the ring and he's going to jump down and Orton's going to RKO him and eliminate him that way. We're going to see a crazy performance by Evans first for a couple of, minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever. And then Orton just does the Evan Bourne type thing and bang right there, right then and there. So yeah, I got Evans because it's not his time yet. I don't think he needs to have a long, crazy, insane match because we already know he's insane. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think Trick Williams needs to be in there a little bit longer because a lot more people are sold on Evans already than they are on Trick. So I think Trick needs to have a long performance. I think he might need to be top two or something like that because for whatever reason, the IWC doesn't totally believe in Trick Williams. They think he's just a theme song, which is complete nonsense. But that's the mindset right now in the IWC.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, are we ready for the OG cutter into an RKO?
Yeah,
I also have Randy coming out last. It just makes too much sense in my mind.
yeah.
And then I also do have Evans being the first one because, like basically along the same lines that Glenn just said. We already know he was the Iron Man in the Royal Rumble, so we know what he can do. He's been putting on a show every Monday. Like Glenn said, he's already proven what he can do and will do in the future. Um, and it's not going to be a detriment to him if he gets eliminated
Did
first.
we mention he's 20? 20.
He's 20 years old. Crazy. Glenn was like 45 when he was born.
I'm not going to be 46 by the time it's over because I'm about to die right now.
All right. All right. It's time for your winner picks. Who do y'all have winning? And where do you see it going afterwards?
Man, you have done a lot of convincing over the last week or so, and I have officially flipped my answer. But it is for the reason for the second part of that question you asked, and it's part of the where it goes afterwards. And I think we've mentioned it for every match and for everything leading up to WrestleMania afterwards. But I think the winner of this chamber does end up being Randy Orton, and I think it does or is because of Drew McIntyre coming out and costing Cody the match, or something along those lines. Maybe Jacob also gets involved after Drew gets involved, something like that. And then at WrestleMania, even though Randy's the one that won the chamber, we still end up seeing a fatal four-way with Drew, Randy, Cody, and Jacob all getting to go after it, all getting to go after the title, all guys that are believable to be able to carry that title afterwards. It solves Jacob's issues. It finally gets Randy back in the main event fighting for a title scene, and we get to see the continuation of more Cody and Drew with friends involved. So Randy's my pick for the chamber.
Randy is who I want to win the chamber. Just Cody Rhodes has to be in one of the main events at WrestleMania in order for you to sell the damn thing. Drew McIntyre is not going to get it done. He's just not. He is not a salesperson. He is great. He's great on the mic. He's 10 times better on Twitter. He is great in the ring. He is 6'6", built of stone, but he's just not. He's not it. He's not The Rock. He's not Stone Cold. He's not. He's just kind of a good little story. That's about it. And you need a Cody Rhodes to sell. So I'm gonna say that don't get me wrong, Randy Orton's a seller, but I'm gonna officially say that somehow, some way, we get a fatal four way, like David said, and get Fatu and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre as the not main event, night one main event of WrestleMania, and get those four in somehow, some way. So I have Cody winning, and then those two come in. I mean, could you imagine if, like, let's say what David said, right? He said that in the previous match, that Charlotte comes and beats up Alexa, bro. Fatu could come in like towards the end of the match, and then Drew comes out towards the end of the match. They both beat up Cody Rhodes, like you said, and then Cody's out. And then it's like literally just Randy Orton standing there and like Trick Williams. And Randy just looks at Trick, RKO real quick, taps him out, wisdom. A lot of crazy things can happen in this match. That's why I'm so excited. But just if it's traditional, I'm going to go Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. My winner pick, as David said earlier, is Randy. I've been pushing the Randy agenda for EC for a few weeks now. But David, let me propose this hypothetical to you that I asked Glenn earlier in the recap. Would you take a Cody Rhodes Elimination Chamber win if it meant we got a heel Randy versus Cody for the title, either at WrestleMania or going out of WrestleMania?
I mean, that would mean the heel Randy would need to be added to the WrestleMania match anyways, which then gets us closer to the
Yeah.
Fatal Four Way that I want. So, like, I would definitely take it, but I would much rather prefer, like, Cody to just win the title back at some point and we see a full blown heel Randy, like, one on one then with Cody.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather that be like the SummerSlam storyline.
Yeah. I just feel like, they've been doing this thing with Randy and Alistair for on SmackDown for the last few weeks. And it feels like they could use that as like a vessel to get the Legend Killer back.
Definitely.
And we know that they've been teasing Randy going for the title for,
That
forever
that
now.
just that just I mean, I know I just picked Randy to win the Elimination Chamber, which means he's gonna have a title match at WrestleMania, but that feud with Aleister Black just feels like his WrestleMania storyline to me.
I will be so disappointed if that is what Randy does at WrestleMania.
That's He's slowly getting pushed. He had the match with Jelly Roll at SummerSlam. He's just kind of
That's
on
what
the
I said.
side quest now. He's not in the main story anymore.
Exactly
That's
what I said.
exactly what Glenn said.
And
But
I wasn't even here, so that's
the
how you know
the
we're on
Glen
the same page.
the Glenmobile is turning right now. Hold on, we got a little something cooking here.
Um,
Let's say Randy isn't involved in the main event with Fatu and Cody and Drew McIntyre, but we do get the Legend Killer back. Do you know what that opens up? Who's been running rush shot over the WWE for the last year, beating legend after legend? Gunther. Does Gunther have a match right now? No. So if we can get Randy Orton, even though he'll go in as the Legend Killer, not necessarily
You
heel.
trying to retire Randy Orton too? What the hell's wrong with you?
No, 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 no. I'm saying that this is where if the Gunther train is gonna slow down, there's only one person that can beat him right now where I wouldn't totally be pissed off. It would be Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, defeating the person that's eliminating all the legends. And then we can get something setting up with Gunther and Brock Lesnar SummerSlam. I know it sounds dumb to have all of a sudden, oh, you just lost to Randy Orton. Now you're gonna get Brock Lesnar retired at SummerSlam. But I'm just like thinking on that Legend Killer thing with the Aleister Black and where that could possibly go. That's like the only thing I could possibly see if he's not involved in the main event. Because I just don't. If he's facing Aleister Black at WrestleMania, just bring Joe Hendry back to the match. Like I can't. I don't want to see it. I really don't.
yeah, I mean, like if we get Aleister Black and Randy at WrestleMania, just like hang him up, Randy. You're
Oh.
done.
Well, then Gunther can retire
Like
him the next match if that's what happens.
feed him,
I'll accept
Yeah,
that.
feed him to
feed him
Gunther.
to
Yeah.
Gunther. Yeah.
Any more thoughts? Who's your dark horse?
I
Do y'all
straight up, I did put notes down, a little bit here and there for stuff to remember to talk about, and I did put down no dark horse. I really, truly just don't feel like there is one in this match. I don't feel like they're gonna run Drew versus any of these guys besides some mixture of Randy, Cody, Jacob, one of them, three of them, two of them, whatever the case is. No Jay, no Trick, no LA Knight, no Javon. I don't think there's a dark horse in this match.
My dark horse is LA Knight. Yeah. I feel like if
Yeah,
there's ever gonna be a time where you finally get LA Knight into the match he deserves to be in, this is it. Because there's really not besides like I said, I think you need Cody Rhodes there. But if it's gonna be someone where you're like Drew McIntyre has to be in this match anyway, you can put LA Knight in this match just to shut everybody up and finally give LA Knight that title match at WrestleMania that he has longed awaited for. But again, there's a reason this is a dark horse because WWE is not going to do it.
yeah. My dark horse actually is Trick. If they really want to push him to the moon and have him win the chamber, he's had run-ins with Drew on SmackDown already. So the seeds have kind of already been there. I mean, I would definitely be shocked if he won, but I wouldn't be mad. And I think like it could lead to a good and interesting story. Again, pushing Trick to the moon. Any more thoughts about the men's chamber?
No.
I got a question. Well, I got a question for both of you. Since Nick likes to ask the question and stuff like that, let me host for 2 seconds. I got something for you. Of the non-storylines right now that we have for WrestleMania, what is one match at WrestleMania that right now there's absolutely no way in the world it can happen? They're not even like scheduled to be anywhere. Like right now, one match at WrestleMania that maybe can start building at Elimination Chamber that we do not have right now. Go. Put you on the spot.
I mean, definitely on the spot for
It's
something like
interesting.
that is tough, but I think it does go back probably to the women's elimination chamber. Like, I think, we've seen Tiffy go around the title for a long time and, be the champion for a while before she was gone. If we can get Tiffany Stratton doing kind of a side quest versus like a Rhea or just somebody that we haven't seen her fully go after a lot again, like if we're seeing it on Elimination Chamber itself, I don't feel like there's a ton of craziness, but I would have to say some mixture of people within that women's chamber is where I would expect to see it.
Yeah. If we're doing like, matches that, because it's so hard to set up a match outside of like the six guys or six people that are in the match, you know? But if, any way it can happen, like I think it would be cool to see a Trick versus Mello build up for the US title at WrestleMania. So if we're just shooting long shots here, I think that would be pretty cool.
Okay, last question. that I got, and this one's just gonna be I'm gonna name somebody. You say yes or no that there's any chance in the world they can make some kind of appearance at WrestleMania. Ready? Number one, The Rock.
No.
Number two, Chris Jericho.
No.
Yeah, yeah. I think I can see it happening. It's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it could happen.
I'm too deep into the believing that he's just had injury time added onto his contract with the other company, and they're not going to let him go. And we've seen it happen in the past with other guys, with other superstars. Like, I don't know that he's going to be free in time to be a WWE superstar in time for WrestleMania. So that's my reason for saying no.
Okay, number three, Jeff Hardy.
More
I think it's
To
more
me, it's
possible.
more realistic than Jericho. Just because he's in TNA already, we just seen a ton of TNA dudes last night on Raw, so we could easily see actual TNA guys at WrestleMania.
And
I
number
mean, what's
four,
the chance that we get? What's the chance that we get the Hardy Boys versus the Usos for the titles at
God, I
WrestleMania?
would love that.
Yeah,
I would say that's like a 2% chance, but if that happens, I am marking the hell out. I'm telling you right now, that would be
That's
everything.
your question. That's your answer for the last question.
yeah, yeah. There you
Well,
go.
actually, four was going to be Joe Hendry.
Hmm.
I think since Joe Hendry's in NXT now, I don't really think there's a chance that we see him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely make an appearance, some little cameo. Somebody says his name and he turns around, whatever. We could definitely see him at WrestleMania, but I don't know that we see him in a match again at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I don't
So
think he's as big of a draw now as he was when he wasn't actually in WWE.
let me propose something. How would you feel about this? Brock Lesnar just said, I'm doing an open challenge to find out who my opponent
Hmm.
should be at WrestleMania. No one proves worthy enough. So he says, I'm going to stand in the ring at WrestleMania. Whoever comes out, that's who I fight. Just like it was Randy Orton last time. This time it could be Brock Lesnar, and then out comes Joe Hendry. And then he gets his ass whooped in 5 seconds again. All right,
Yeah.
last thing. Here's my last curveball, and then you can close it out. At WrestleMania, remember, this is WWE hasn't thrown no curveballs. Everything is just straight up and down to shoot, and it's like eventually they got to do something crazy,
Yeah,
right?
I predicted everything that happened on Monday night.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so straight to the T right now. So here we go. Now this is crazy. I just wanna put this out there that this is absolutely crazy. Next year, WrestleMania is in Saudi. Who did they ask for immediately and said who they wanted to be there? And they started to build this up in the NXT directly after the last WrestleMania. It was Triple H and Shawn Michaels in the ring teasing that they were going to be in Saudi.
Hmm.
They 100% did it. You know they did it. This isn't like fake. This is real. So I'm saying before the you know how Triple H comes out as like, welcome, whatever. What if he starts the night and you hear Shawn Michaels' music comes out and they build up towards the next WrestleMania that Saudi has already demanded that they want old ass people in there. They want the old legends in there. We get something of legends building up to the next WrestleMania? Maybe not even on WrestleMania. Maybe it happens on Raw. But Saudi literally demanded it to happen, and they're paying all this money to get it. They're gonna get what they want. So I do think in some capacity, like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, or like I don't even know. I can't even throw any other names out there because I think all the older guys are like can't wrestle. So I'm just throwing this out there because they did try to build it at NXT.
Is this a murder ploy against Triple H? Like, is Saudi trying to kill him?
I know, but they literally though, like on the NXT after, Shawn Michaels and Triple H looked at each other and said, "Unfinished business," and then Triple H walked out of the ring. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing a little curveball there.
That
You know,
even
I think
throwing
you
it
have
all
a
the way
better
back
chance
to
of
that,
getting.
even throwing it all the way back to that, like that felt like if I remember correctly, that was like shortly before like Survivor Series or something, where it felt like they were gonna add NXT back to the mix of like, oh, it's gonna be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT or something like that. Like it, even then, it didn't feel to me like they were really doing anything in the ring against each other. Maybe they were gonna lead their Survivor Series teams or something like that, but I don't see it. I just like Nick said, like I don't see Triple H literally risking his life for any sort of bag right now.
I think you have a better chance of getting a Stone Cold appearance at this WrestleMania, setting up
Yeah.
Rock versus Stone Cold next
Yeah.
year than you do.
shit, that'd be kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of nice.
Hey, look, Stone Cold is going to be at WWE World for this WrestleMania. I'm just saying. He's going to be in Vegas. Just
Hulk
saying.
Hogan was at the last one, and
Yeah,
we
he's
don't want
gonna
to
be at
we don't
this one.
want
Never mind.
we don't want to talk about what.
He'll be there looking up. All right. Anyways, anything else to add for your
No, I
chamber
think the Hulk
expectations?
Hogan thing kind of ended it. I think you can finish this off.
He did
I'm
end it
pretty
for sure.
excited for Chamber. I think it's gonna be great. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you follow us everywhere: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. And listen to us on Spotify or YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. We'll see you next time.